Okay, let's set the scene. The year is 1946. The war is over, but the world is still finding its footing, and there's no better place to see that than Atlantic City. We're diving into the strange story of a wealthy heiress who, just days before her wedding, literally vanishes from one of the city's most famous hotels.
Right away, this is the first thing our investigators hear, and it's from a cabbie named Sal. And you gotta know, this isn't just a friendly tip, it's a warning. In a city like this, with all its bright lights and dark alleys, people can just disappear. The ocean, it turns out, is very good at keeping secrets.
All right, so let's get the basic facts straight. Our missing person is Vivian Ashford. She's young, she comes from a ton of money, and she's about to walk down the aisle. She's staying at the Ritz-Carlton, super glamorous, and then, poof, she's gone. So the big question right from the start is, did she take off, or was she taken?
Now to figure this all out, the family brings in two very different people from New York. First, you've got NYPD Detective Hank Manning. He's a war vet, a real old-school cop who trusts his gut. And with him is Dr. Kopp, a criminal psychology consultant who is all about logic and observation. And for Manning, you should know, this isn't an official case. It's him paying back a personal favor to the family.
Okay, so before we can even begin to guess where Vivian went, we gotta understand who she was. What was her world like? Let's take a look at the people closest to her.
So Vivian, at least according to her mother, she's not your typical, spoiled heiress. She's smart, a Bryn Mawr grad, and she actually works for a charity helping veterans. The key takeaway here is that everyone says she is not the kind of person who would just flake out and run away from her responsibilities.
And this family? We're talking serious old money. Her father, who passed away, was a decorated war hero from a family that made its fortune in railroads and steel. But the real power now? That's her mother, Constance. After her husband died, she didn't just keep the business afloat, she made it even bigger. She is definitely not a woman you want to cross.
And then, of course, there's the fiancé, Charles Whitmore. He's a decorated naval officer, comes from a good family, but, and this is important, they don't have anywhere near the kind of money the Ashfords do. Theirs was a classic wartime romance. They met at a rally, got engaged when he came back from the war. Seems perfect on the surface.
But this is where Dr. Kapp drops her first really interesting observation. She points out that these intense romances that start in the middle of a war, well, they don't always last once things get back to normal. It's a great point, right? She's planting that seed of doubt. Was this engagement really as solid as it looked?
So right out of the gate, we've got two completely different theories. Dr. Kapp is thinking logically. Maybe it's just a classic case of cold feet. The pressure of a massive society wedding was just too much. But Manning's gut, his gut is screaming that something is very, very wrong here, that this is foul play.
But this whole mystery isn't just about the people involved. It's about the place. Atlantic City, especially in the off-season like this, is really a character all on its own. It's a city of wild contradictions, glamour and grit, side by side.
You see this split personality everywhere you look. For every giant, fancy hotel like the Ritz, there are a dozen shabby boarding houses right around the corner. A few blocks from the high-roller casinos, you've got these struggling neighborhoods. The whole city is built on this very fragile, glittering facade.
And remember Sal, the taxi driver? He gave Manning a really important piece of advice. The police here, they're not the ones who are really in charge. The real power in Atlantic City belongs to the guys who own the casinos and run the rackets. They control the whole town.
So knowing all this, that the city's not what it seems, Manning and Kapp start asking their questions. And bam, almost immediately, the walls go up.
And we're not just talking about people being unhelpful. This is what you'd call professional obstruction. The hotel manager, the local cops, they're all reading from the exact same script. And the message is loud and clear. Go home, New York. Nothing to see here.
Just listen to the hotel's story. It's so flimsy, it's almost funny. They say they got a phone call from Miss Ashford to check out, but they have no way to prove it was actually her. Then a porter packs up all her stuff, and they just hand it over to some random person who shows up to collect it. Come on. The story is too neat.
And the cops? Forget about it. They're even worse. The captain, a guy named Reeves, won't even give Manning the time of day. He's already officially closed the case, calling it a simple runaway. It's a total stonewall, which, of course, just makes Manning even more sure that something's being covered up.
But just when it looks like every official door is being slammed in their face, Manning gets his first real break.
And at the exact same time, a new and very dangerous player steps out of the shadows to make it clear he needs to stop looking.
So Manning, being the good detective he is, he ignores the hotel's claim that the room has been scrubbed clean. He knows that no matter how good a cleanup crew is, they almost always miss something. The only question is, what did they miss this time? And there it is, tucked away in the one place nobody would ever think to look. A tiny, torn piece of paper jammed into the little gap between the window frame and the wall. It's a classic move. Always check the places everyone else ignores.
And this is what's on it. It looks like a cipher, right? A jumble of letters and numbers, and then that one single clear word at the end, steal. What in the world could that mean? This is the first hard proof that this was not just a runaway bride.
So, just as Manning's trying to wrap his head around this clue, he gets a visitor on the boardwalk. The man's name is Anthony Castellano. He owns the very casino where the wedding reception was supposed to happen. He's smooth, he's powerful, and it's obvious he's a major player in the city's underworld.
Castellano says he's there to help, but then he drops this line. And let's be clear, that's not advice, that is a threat. Plain and simple. Manning has officially kicked the hornet's nest, and the city's real power brokers are telling him to back off. Now.
Okay, let's just step back and look at how fast this all went down. At 9:23 in the morning, Manning and Cap get to town. By 11, they're getting the runaround from the hotel. 30 minutes later, they find that bizarre note. By 2 in the afternoon, the local cops have shut them down. And by 3 p.m., the mob is literally threatening them on the boardwalk. In less than 6 hours, this has gone from a missing persons case to something way, way more dangerous.
And so that's where we're left. We've got a city choked with secrets, a police force that wants this case buried, and a powerful casino owner who's making threats. It all comes back to two massive questions. What is the secret hidden in that coded message? And maybe more importantly, in a city that's built on lies, who can you possibly trust?